biggest challenges right now, especially as many are forecasting potentially a recession?
So we've lived through a recession, 2008 and 9. We actually grew during the last recession. So that isn't what's scaring me today. It's really speed to market. You know, we experienced supply chain issues in the fourth quarter of last year. It meant that spring was summer and summer was fall. And I think it was really about talking to our retailers, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, Neiman Sachs, and saying we need to partner. We know we're trying to get you these goods, and even to our direct-to-consumer site, we just have to be upfront to the customer and say we're working as hard as we can, and some things are truly out of our control.
Consumer spending has slowed, though. You see a little bit more money going to things like services. People are coming out of the pandemic, necessarily don't want to buy things, they want to go out and do things. Are you concerned about consumers wanting that appetite for luxury or affordable luxury goods?
I think luxury potentially, but we're affordable luxury. And we saw during the last recession that we are at a price point that even during a recession, a woman says, I'm going to invest in this handbag. It's going to last me 20 years, and it's 1/16th of the price of a luxury good, and it's just as well made, and it's made by an American designer. So I think that we don't see that slowing down for us.
Rebecca, good to speak to you. I wonder, though, on that very subject, are you concerned that some customers trade down, buy cheaper products at this time?
I can't hear anything.
Did you hear? Oh, Anna was asking, are you concerned about some customers chasing down some of these cheaper items, maybe potentially wanting just the luxury goods, and those cheaper items, they're putting their money towards other things?
I think that we need to take a long and hard, fast look at fast fashion, and it is a quick fix. It does not last long. It does not support small businesses, and it does not give back, right, to the economy in a way that you can if you save a little bit. You know, you buy something, you wear it longer, it lasts longer, and you're actually truly supporting a small business.
Is that your biggest concern, fast fashion? They see an item maybe you designed, and 2-3 months later you see it in a store window?
It's not my biggest concern as far as the brand not getting the sale. It's my biggest concern because fast fashion is responsible for the largest amount of waste, poor treatment of people that exists within our fashion industry. And so people, again, were to save up, buy less, buy special. Just that support alone could change the face of American fashion.
When you're looking at what you're preparing for the next year or so, there's all these inflationary concerns. Are you feeling them in terms of your raw material goods as you make your products?
We are feeling them a lot. We've had to do some price raises, about 20% across certain select styles. It is not easy for us. You know, there are some luxury brands that can hike the price and people go with it, but I care so much about my consumer, and I know that she's not the ability to just buy, you know, a six-figure item. And so I think that for us, we're really trying to be conscious and careful where we raise prices, and only if we have to.
And you're raising prices at the same time. What about wages for your staff? Because they're also feeling inflation, whether or not it's grocery bills or gasoline, and then they come into work, and I'm sure they're asking you, am I going to get a wage increase?
You know, we're talking about it at the highest levels of the company. I think that obviously we have yearly reviews, and that's where things get looked at, and that's where people's paychecks are going to be affected. But it is a hot topic of conversation, and I want, you know, 3% doesn't mean anything anymore. And so we need to be prepared to catch up to where the inflation is sadly going.
Another big concern I've been hearing, just talking to people at the summit, is about actually getting the labor force they need for their industry. Are you finding a labor shortage in the work and the staff you need?
We are within certain arenas, graphic design, really incredible design talent. I think, you know, you saw the great resignation, and a lot of people in a good way are starting their own businesses, which is incredibly exciting, but it does shrink the labor pool for us in a way that's gotten very competitive.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about is China. It's the Chinese consumer, really you can tell kind of the pulse of how luxury or fashion is doing. How has that been, given the fact that China has been locked down since the start of the pandemic, and you don't see the consumers, say, flocking to Europe or the United States and buying these goods and bringing them home?
Yeah, we definitely saw it slow down, but then about 6 months ago, we were like, oh, it's coming back, here we go. We started to see the orders roll in, we started to see the reach from China directly to our site, and it's I think they're ready. You know, they're slowly being let out, thank God, of this lockdown, and hopefully reemerge to keep buying and consuming our goods.
So do you find the Chinese consumer likes to travel and buy goods, or now do you see them wanting to go directly to your site and buy that?
I think it's both. You know, when we had our store in New York City, 90% of the people coming in were tourists. And now they're coming directly to our site because they don't want to buy gray market goods or what they think could be gray market. They know if it comes from us, they'll pay the duties and the fees and the shipping to really get the real thing.
You need to explain something to me, Anna and Alix as well, because you were talking about this before you joined us. What is buying a gown for the metaverse? What does that entail? So you buy something that is incredibly expensive for your avatar, but you don't actually get this product for yourself. I can never imagine that.
So in some cases you can.
Okay.
So for us, when we launched NFTs, you know, our first drop in September of last year, you could buy the real thing and the matching one on your avatar. Where are you going with this avatar? You might be going to a concert, you might be playing a video game, you might be just wanting to invest in that artwork and that NFT and then sell it later. But for us as a company, we are strongly about utility, which means, you know, the drop we just did with Mavion, you bought the NFT, you get the bag, it's one of a kind. And so how do we make sure that we're tying in experiences and physical goods to these NFTs? So like you said, you don't just have a JPEG that you bought.
Is this where the industry is going? Some sort of digital connection has to be there for the real life user and wearer of your products?
I think if you look at social media, people couldn't believe, like, why would you take a selfie and post it? I think that the metaverse is just going to become another pillar and channel for distribution. If you look at what happened with Forever 21, selling 50-cent hoodies on Roblox, they've made almost $2 million in sales. And so I think, you know, you have the people that their digital identity is very important to them, and they want to dress that person, right? And then
they want to look good in the metaverse.
Yeah, but then with NFTs, imagine a designer who can't fund their collection, but they can sell an NFT, they can sell an experience that money can't buy, fund their collection, and then ship the real thing. So I think it adds a lot of value to it.